Good evening, everybody. I hope that you've had a wonderful day. I don't know about y'all, but it was cold today. And for me to say that, it had to be pretty cold. So, good evening. This is the Lady Sound Show Wonderlow. It is a pleasure to be here with you all this evening. And Happy New Year. I thought about the post that I made the other day when I was on for a few minutes. And I was like, I said everything but Happy New Year. I didn't say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. So, I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and that you got the things that you wanted. You were able to spend time with your family and enjoy everybody. And I also hope that you stayed safe. Our numbers have popped back up, so we know that in the midst of us spending time together, some people may have gotten sick behind it. So we just pray that they're okay and pray that family's okay and that everybody is able to get the rest and the medicine and everything that they need so that they can be better soon. Let's see. Like I said, Happy New Year. Tonight's guest was supposed to be on and had a last minute emergency. So we're not going to be talking so much about volunteering tonight. Although, if you are interested in some volunteer opportunities for MLK Day coming up January, I think it's January 17th or 15th or the 20th or 17th, one of them, then you can contact the Mosaic Templars Museum Cultural Center and see about whether or not what activities they have available for you. So, since we're not going to be able to talk about what we intended to talk about, I thought I'd just briefly touch on about setting intentions for 2022. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't do New Year's resolutions, and I stopped doing them years ago for a couple of different reasons. The main one being, unless you wrote it down, unless you were really serious about it, about 2 days or 4 days or maybe a week into the new year, you've forgotten about it anyway, and you didn't do it. So rather than commit to something on paper or just commit to something on memory and say, my resolution for the new year, I'm going to do this, this, and this, I said, forget about it. What I do now is I write out my intentions. And I don't know if you all can remember the guest I had last year. I think either she was on the first or second show for the year. We talked about setting intentions. And we talked about, being intentional in our goal setting. So one of the things that I do for myself is that, you can't see it right now because I hadn't put it up yet. I have giant sticky notepads and I write each of those goals or whatever it is that I want to achieve on the giant sticky pad, and I stick it in my office on the wall. And I do that because for some reason, when things are in big writing and they're somewhere I can see it every day, it keeps it in the front of my mind. And it's easier for me to kind of stay on track and to look at that list and go, okay, I've knocked off number one. Let me move on to number two. The second thing I started doing was not just writing a goal. I want to lose weight, but then how am I going to lose weight? I need to eat better. I need to exercise, being more specific, playing the SMART goals, as you will. Saying I know I want to lose weight, but I want to lose 25 pounds. How do I want to lose that 25? I want to walk 30 minutes a day. I want to make sure that I'm lowering my carbs and my fats. And I want to make sure that I'm upping my vegetables and my whole grains. So making sure that when you're writing these things down, that you're intentional about your intention. The third thing I do is I make sure that I read my list every day. Now that sounds a little much, but it's something about keeping things in the front of your head, in front of your mind. If you have it on the wall, or you might put it in your car on a sticky note, or some people hang it on their mirrors in the bathroom, I just make sure that whatever I do, I read my list every single day. And then when I notice that I've done some things, and I don't do them in order, that's the fourth thing I'm gonna tell you. I don't necessarily do them in order, but when I notice that I've finished maybe one of the items under one of the goals, then I make sure I check it off so I know that I've already done that thing. And then I move on to the next one, and you just keep working until you get it done. The fourth thing I would say is don't hold yourself so tightly to an order. Now, certain things you are going to have to do in order to get them, to get them complete. So, but certain things, don't be so, hard on yourself to where you go, oh my God, I did number six when I should have been working on number two. Sometimes when you make your list in the beginning, you may have prioritized that thing a little bit more than usual. Work on your list however you got to work on your list. That's one thing that I'm really seriously working on with myself this year, is giving myself some grace and showing myself some mercy. I'm a very goal oriented person. I believe in following steps and getting things done in order. And when you do that with everything, it stresses you out. So sometimes I float. I've learned how to float through the list and get things done, trying to get the harder things done first while I have that kind of energy. And then the things that are a little bit easier, kind of ease into those a little bit later. But give yourself some grace and some mercy, when you start doing this. And don't set stuff that that's going to be too difficult for you to do. Not saying not to give yourself tough goals, because you should challenge yourself every year to get better. But make sure that when you do it, you're not going to just hold yourself to it only getting done one way. Because something I have noticed about, when I used to make my to-do list, is I would think it was only one way to get that thing done. And in thinking that, I would stress myself out because that's the only way I want to get it done. Well, make sure again that you show yourself some grace and some mercy, and that you do things in a way that don't just stress you completely out. Because the big thing is this: once you get stressed out, that list going out the window. You're probably not going to ever look at it again. You're probably not going to want to work on it again, because it's discouraging, when you get stressed out about stuff. So give yourself some grace and some mercy, and just work it at your pace that you can handle. Now, I don't know how many of you are listening to Ricky Smile in the Morning, and I cannot remember the guy's name. He had 3 tips to follow in setting intentions for the year. And of course, I don't remember. But at the time, I was going, man, those are good. And I was looking and I found another article I was reading earlier. And really, I think it's 6 of these. And I think 3 of these are the ones that he named this morning. So we're just going to go through these real quick. And I'm not going to hold y'all long. And then we're going to move on. I'm ready to eat dinner and go to bed, y'all. It's been a long day. But anyway, on the first one, this one says, deepen your connections with yourself, others, and nature. Can't stress enough. People need people, but we also need ourselves. And to me, what that translates to is deepening my connection with myself is self-care. Taking time to really, really, really take care of me. That's physically, mentally, socially, however you got to do it, but really taking time to, take care of yourself. And in addition to that is being more conscious of the people that you're around and how you affect them. Because your energy, their energy, and sometimes they combat each other, and sometimes they may mesh. But making sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself, but you're also nurturing your family, your connections with your family and your friends. None of us can do this thing alone. I've never seen anybody get through life totally alone. And we need to be able to have good relationships. We need to be able to say we're sorry, I apologize, whatever the case is, but making sure that once we get ourselves taken care of and we're mentally and we're physically on point, that we also nurture those relationships with our family members and our friends. And then nature, getting out and just enjoying nature. So, okay. The second one, it says, seek the beauty in everything. That is that whole slow down, stop, and smell the roses thing. I'm one of those people that I can be outside and it could be near sunset and I can cry because the sunset is beautiful. Or I can see a beautiful flower in the spring. Or it can be a crisp, cool fall day. Or I can see the pretty leaves on the ground when they fall off the trees. I've learned how to stop and notice things like that. I've learned how to stop and breathe. And I think a lot of times we get so wrapped up in life, we get so wrapped up in all of our to-do lists, and we get wrapped up in all these other things, and so much beauty passes right by us. The beauty in hearing one of your grandkids laugh, or the beauty in seeing a newborn baby, or the beauty in having a pet, a beauty in having a pet, that nuzzles you when you come in the house. It's so many different things. God gives us such a beautiful world. And I know right now that what we're in, we're in the midst of a pandemic. I know we're dealing with a lot of death, we're dealing with a lot of illnesses, but believe me, it is still some beauty in the world, and we do have to slow down and notice it. And I'm gonna tell you something. What make just came to my head on that was, if you remember in the movie Color Purple, and I think it's Celie and Suge talking. I think it is, and she asked her something about the color purple, and she said, "I think it pisses God off when we don't notice how the trees bend to try to get our attention, the flowers try to get our attention." That whole thing about seeking God's beauty. God gives us the most beautiful things, but we do have to slow down and notice them. So that's your second one, is seek the beauty in everything. Oh, number three is slow down. In order to seek the beauty and everything, guess what you got to do? You got to slow down. Now, that one I am taking to heart, because I'm gonna tell you now, I am the world's. You can get busy and not accomplish a thing. And at the end of the day, you're tired and you're frustrated, but you've been busy all day. But when you look back at your list, how many things did you do today that actually got you closer to that goal? How many things did you do today that got you closer to you being healthier or you being more sane? Just that you took care of your self care. How many things did you do that actually mattered? Did you stop and speak to someone? Did you stop and try to help somebody? Was there somebody in pain and you tried to talk to them or comfort them? What did you do today that helped somebody else? So when we slow down and we pay attention to what's around us, we're more in tune with the earth, we're more in tune with each other, we're more in tune with ourselves. And I think a lot of times, like I say, we can be busy. Busy is real easy. It's so easy to be busy. But is it accomplishing anything? Have you really gotten any closer to your goals? Have you gotten any closer to being healthy or being calm or paying attention to your mental health? So this year, intentionally slow down. Woo, this next one, y'all. This next one, you got to do it at all costs. And you can fill in a couple of different things in this blank. And this one is protect your energy. That's a whole book. That's a whole show. Matter of fact, we'll probably have a show on that. Because you can say protect your peace, protect your sanity, protect your life. It's so many different things we can protect there. But we're going to say protect our energy. I laugh when I see little videos and I see little memes or whatever about people saying, "Hey, I match energy." I don't want to match your energy. I don't want negative energy around me. I don't want people that carry negative energy. I don't want anything to do with that. If you're not positive, you're not working toward a goal, you're not trying to do something good in the world, miss me. I'm good. I know that sounds real mean, but miss me, really. I'm good. I don't want my energy brought down. I have some health issues that I deal with on a daily basis. But even in those, I still try to keep my energy up. I still try to be positive when somebody else is around. Now, it's some days that I'm in pain and I might not be able to do that as much. Even those days when my energy might be here, I don't need you coming around with yours here, because that's going to bring my little bit down. And I want to be able to feed into somebody. I don't want you to come around me and feel down. I don't want my energy to leach off on you and you go from being happy to being down. I want to make sure that I not only protect my energy, but I protect you from my energy. So if mine is not right, as my mama used to say, when she was having a day, she would say, "I'm not fit to be around good people." I used to crack up when she would say that, but please believe, the older I get, I seriously understand. There are days that all of us have our moments where we're literally not fit to be around good people. And all that means is that might be a day where our energy is not the best energy. And again, I don't want mine to bring you down, but I don't want yours to bring me down either. So at all costs, protect your energy. If you're trying to do something big in your life, get around people that are doing it also. Or get around somebody that's trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do, or that's already done it. Get around people that have a positive, growing, building energy. That's their mindset, that they're trying to get to the next level. Because if you hang out with folks that's down and they whine, they complain, guess what's going to happen with your energy? It won't take long before you'll be doing the exact same thing. So get around people that have good positive energy that keeps you up, that motivates you, but then do that same for somebody else. I don't want anything to ever be one-sided to where I say, I'm trying to, get it from you. I want to also exude that same energy. I want to be able to help people and be upbeat and keep a positive mindset. One of the things I started doing maybe about 2 months ago is I listen to motivational speakers literally almost every single day. Even if I don't listen to it early in the morning, somewhere throughout that day, I'm going to listen to a motivational speech. I've started listening to audiobooks because I don't read as much as I used to. And some days I don't have time to actually just sit down and read a book. But I can put an audio book on and it can be a motivational book and I can still get the same information. And a lot of times, which is weird, and I'm surprised that I do this, I actually pay more attention to the audiobook than I believe when I was, sitting down, sometimes when I'm sitting down reading stuff. But make sure that you're doing something every day that builds your attitude, that helps you build your positivity, that keeps your energy high. Rest, because the other part of having bad energy is that we're not getting enough rest. And when I say we, I mean me. And probably a whole bunch of folks like me that staying up late. Look here, y'all. We ain't 16 no more. We need a whole 8 hours of sleep. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember ever getting 8 hours in my entire life, which I'm sure I have before. But we need sleep. We need rest. We have to recharge. That plays a big part of whether or not you have good energy, bad energy, or no energy. So make sure that we're getting enough rest and that we are taking care of ourselves. All right. Hold on, y'all. Mister. Close my little browser over here. All right. Oh, the next one is nurture your home life. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I am a homebody. Now, that's weird because I actually like to go and I like to be somewhere and see stuff and do different things. But I love being at home. And one of the things I do at the end of the year, and it's like most people do spring cleaning, I do a winter cleaning. When the holidays are all gone, I need everything to be gone. I want all the decorations down. I want everything to be back, not necessarily back to normal, but I want everything back cozy and comfortable again. Build you a nest. To me, that's what that means. Build you a nest. Make your house comfortable. Have you a spot in your house where you can go in there and just rest and enjoy quiet. I don't know how many people, think about quiet spaces, but have you a space in your house where you can just go and be quiet, where you can just go and have some peace. Put some fresh flowers in there, put you some candles in there, have some soft music that you can play, but build you a nest that when you come home, it's enough stuff going on out there in the world, and the world is rough enough. When you come home, that's your haven. That should be your safe haven. That should be your comfort zone. That should be the place that you can go and put your head down and just breathe and rest. So make sure you nurture your home life. Make sure you build you a nurturing environment. I like pillows. I like flowers. I like candles, and I like soft music. And then sometimes I just like quiet. Who would have thought that much as I talk? But sometimes I just wanted to be quiet. And nothing is wrong with that. Build a place that makes you comfortable, that you can go and recharge, that you can go and rest, and that you can get yourself together. Because guess what? If you're working, if you're doing anything outside of home, you got to get out there. And we all know we live in a rough world, and we need to have that one space that we can get to just unwind and relax and just be us. Take your shoes off, put your feet up, oh my God, let me tell y'all this. My grandson, and me and my husband joke about this because I say my grandson bought the pajamas. But yesterday, I was not feeling well. And I kept walking around. I'm like, okay, I need to do something to make myself feel better. Whatever. And I thought about, I got pajamas for Christmas. Now, we went to the store and I told my grandson what I wanted. So he shopped. I mean, he's seriously in there trying to help me find what I was looking for. So he found me a pajama set that came with the fuzzy socks and its own blanket. And I told you they don't call me Granny, they call me Fei Fei. He said, Fei Fei, get this one. I think this one is really nice. He said, I'm going to tell Papa to pay for it. But he was talking as though he was the one that was going to buy it. So when my husband came out, he handed it to me. He said, Papa, we're going to get Fei Fei these pajamas. Well, let me tell you something about the baby's pajamas. If I tell you, out of all how I was feeling yesterday, that when I put those pajamas on, they were magic pajamas. And I told my husband, I said, I should have took a picture and sent it to him so he could see me in my magic pajamas. Oh my God, get you some pajamas, a gown, something. They're real. They have a very soft shirt that goes with it. They have the soft fuzzy pants, the nice fuzzy socks, and I felt 100% better. And it was weird because I had on a gown for most of the day. I took a shower and I put the pajamas on, and I instantly felt better. So get you something that makes you comfortable, makes you cozy. You know, it's cold outside right now. Get your blanket and get on your couch. Watch Netflix. Even though I told y'all stop doing it, but watch, find you something good on Netflix and just relax. So make your house someplace where you can go and put your fuzzy pajamas on and unwind and have a good time. All right. And the last one is find joy in the journey. Pastor say amen, go right there. Wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. I struggled with that for years because in my mind, I should have been so much farther ahead. And I have a cousin I love dearly. She's gone to be with the Lord now. And I called her one time crying about, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And honey, when I tell you she got me together real quick about what I thought I hadn't accomplished or what I thought I hadn't done. And it took her really getting on to me for me to go, wait a minute, Wanda, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. When it's time for you to go to a different level, you'll go to that level. Enjoy the journey. Life does not happen in a flash. It feels like it does, and people, with things happening the way they happen right now, it does feel like it does. But there's a process. We're in a process. Life is a process, and you're gonna start at A. You're gonna get to B, and before you know it, you're gonna be okay. But you got to give yourself, again, it goes back to the grace and mercy, the slowing down, all of that stuff, prioritizing, all of that. Give yourself grace and mercy to enjoy the bits and pieces along the way. There are things that are going to happen that are going to set us back. There are things that are going to happen that are going to set us up. And when I say set us up, that means that it's going to set us up to do better next time. We're going to fail at some things. We're going to fall down sometimes. We're going to be discouraged. We're going to get we're going to have an attitude. We're going to have days where you don't really want to match this. You don't want that smoke. And you don't want to match this energy. We're going to have all of those things. But guess what we're also going to have? We're also going to have some victories. We're going to have some wins. We're going to kick butt on some days. We're going to be so awesome on some days. We're going to be able to talk to our own self. So, enjoy all of it. I used to get upset and be like, oh my God, I'm having a bad day, blah, blah. And then, and 5 minutes later, something could happen to make me totally forget that I thought I was having a bad day. Tell folks all the time, anytime I'm on this side of the grass, I'm having a good day. I might get a little attitude. I might, I used to have pity parties, and I told my friend one time, I said, no, I'm not your normal person to have a pity party. When I have a pity party, honey, I have cake, ice cream, chips. I laid it out. And I caught myself one day, and I don't, this to show you how unimportant it was. I don't even remember what it was that I was all in my feelings about. And I had to go to the store for something. And I'm driving. Now, this is when you need to do better. I'm driving along and I'm crying. And what I was crying and whining about, I'm shaming myself now because I know better. But I was crying and whining about something. And I passed somebody walking. And it was one of them times you go, wait a minute, hold on. Your priorities are way off. This person walking. I tell you where I was coming up university. And I don't know if you all remember, before they closed in that bridge, right before you get, what's that, right there, even with, I think it's McDonald's on one side, and it's a church on one side. It's a big church over there. I was right in there. And, before they closed that bridge and you could see under that bridge. So as I'm coming down the street crying about something I ain't had no business crying about, I don't know, well, I ain't gonna say what something told me. The spirit said, look down. I look down just as I'm getting to the bridge, and there are homeless people living on the bridge. Let me tell you something. Between that light and that next light, I bet I told Jesus thank you 100 times because I realized what I was having a pity party over. Really? I had somewhere to live. I was driving something. I wasn't walking. I wasn't living under no bridge. I had food in my house. My kids were fine. My husband was fine. My bills was paid. So whatever it was, I called myself being all in my feelings about was just stupid. And it caught me so bad. And now when I get in one of those, okay, wait a minute, Wanda. You can't. My friend told me this years ago. She said you can't cry and count blessings. You can't whine and count blessings at the same time. That's crazy. You cannot. If you start just naming off, thank you God for my home, thank you for my family, thank you for food to eat, thank you for clothes to wear, thank you for shoes on my feet, thank you for good health, thank you for a job, thank you my bills to pay. You can't whine and count blessings at the same time. I dare you to try. You can't do it. There's no way you can do it. If you're being truly grateful and you are truly thanking God for what you have, where He's brought you from, it's people out there right now that were on drugs, that were homeless, that have been abused when they were kids, being abused as adults. And when you start looking at them and they're praising God and thanking God for things as well as they are, and you sitting up talking about whining about your house ain't this or you ain't got this, stop and think about it. Stop and think about it. But I was, like I said, I used to have some serious, serious, serious pity parties until I started thinking about, wait a minute, Wanda, you way too blessed. He's brought you way too far. Your journey is not over. You still in the process. Celebrate where you are. Going back to that original what I said about counting your blessings and making sure that you keep things, give yourself grace and mercy. Count your blessings, celebrate your victories. Again, are we gonna have some times when we fail and we're gonna have some defeats? Of course we are. We're human, we make mistakes, things don't work out like we plan all the time. But you know what? You're right, Hazel, too blessed to be depressed. Exactly. We don't, things don't fall in place like they do. But guess what? Each one of those little dips in the road is a lesson. Each one of those little dips in the road is an opportunity to do something different. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this and I'm gonna let y'all go. I was sitting the other night and I was telling my husband, I said, now there's some things that I want to do. And if you've ever listened to who was I listening to? Les Brown. Les Brown and Eric Thomas. Oh my God. If you ever need any kind of inspiration or motivation, listen to Eric Thomas, Les Brown. I was listening to Les Brown, and he said that it took him 14 years before he finally started doing his motivational speaking. And he said it took him that long because he thought because he did not have a college education, he was, I think in school he was deemed uneducated. He says the word and he says so fast, I still hadn't figured out what he's saying. But in essence, what he was saying is he was deemed the dumb twin in school. He didn't know his mom and dad. He was born on a dirty floor in the abandoned building. He had all of these things that he was going, because all of this happened to me, I can't be great or I can't be a motivational speaker. And I was listening to that one morning, and because of some situations that happened to me in the last 3 years, I started thinking the same way. I told myself, well, you can't teach anybody about this when your situation is this, or you can't go and do this if you got this, and this. Well, you don't have this certification. You can't do that. And I started thinking about it. I said, but you got 20 years experience as a counselor. You worked in banking for 17. You have degrees in health education and public administration. I have a wall of certifications over there. Y'all can't see them, but they okay, yeah. Okay, it's that way, really. But to y'all, it's that way. Got a wall full of certifications over there. Why in the world can I not do what I want to do? That doesn't make any sense, does it? But that's how your mind works sometimes. So I was listening to it again today. And he said, stop listening to yourself. And I thought, you know what? Sometimes you do have to tell yourself, shut up. Because that little voice will get in your head and you'll talk yourself out of stuff. And you'll start thinking, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know if I'm pretty enough. I don't have enough money. My house is not this. My car is not that. Well, I don't know. My clothes don't look as good as theirs. Or why, how can I do this? How can I do that? You can do whatever it is you put your mind to. You just got to put your mind to it. Sometimes you got to tell your mind to shut up. Sometimes you got to tell yourself to shut up because self will talk you out of things. I said at last week, well, last year, last week was last year. Last year, I said, I made up my mind and I said, you know what? There are about 7 different things that I've always wanted to do. Y'all remember I told y'all some years ago, I made my 50 for 50 list. And then I abandoned it. And I'll be absolutely honest with you. Some things happened in my life that made me just totally threw me off my game. And I kind of gave up on doing any of the things on the list. And then I was going back the other day and I was getting ready for a presentation I was doing in Hot Springs this past Saturday on the 1st. And I found all of these plans I had wrote. I found all these presentations. I mean, it's a load of stuff, a load of material because I love creating presentations. I like transferring information. I like teaching people. I like showing folks stuff. And I started looking through there and all I could do was sit there and cry. Not bad, happy, not sad tears or whatever, but happy tears because now I'm in the mind space where I can get these things done. And my intention for the year is to get them done. My intention for this year is to do whatever pops in my head. And I know that sounds crazy as I don't know what. I'm a little bit afraid. But what is it saying? I'm going to do it scared. I'm going to do it scared. I'm going to do it terrified. I don't think I've ever done anything not terrified because I am one of those people that I hate to fail. And I don't have a record of failing doing things. But I also have enough sense to know sometimes you just are. Some things are just not going to work out perfectly the first time or as soon as you try them. And sometimes it might take you 4 or 5 tries. It might take you 1,000. The objective is to not quit. The mindset is to continue to do it. And then each time learn something new. Keep reading the books. Keep going online, looking at the videos. Keep researching. You're going to get it. And that's the conversation I had to have with myself now. I know that there are some books in me. Guess what? Them suckers coming out this year. I know that there's some other stuff in me that I want to do. Whatever crosses my mind this year, it may be the weirdest stuff ever. It might not make no sense to nobody. I don't care. It ain't going to make no sense to me. But guess what? I'm going to try it. If it work, it work. Now my attitude is if it work, it work. If it work, if it don't, I'm still going to work it anyway. I'm going to try it again. I'll try it until I get it. But I don't want to live a life where I didn't enjoy the process, where I didn't enjoy the journey, where I didn't try as many things as I could, to get to where I want to be, where I just gave up. I don't want to go to my grave not having tried to do a lot of the stuff that, is in me to do. I sit sometimes and I write programs. And sometimes it's just stuff out of my head. I'm going, oh, let's teach people how to do this. And I'll write the programs. And then I'll do what? Talk myself out of, oh, nobody's going to listen to me. I don't know if you all listen to Ashley Ann. And and I'm going to probably mess up the quote, but it's something in this nature. And when she says your vibe will attract your tribe. And I started thinking, well, nobody's going to watch that. But then I thought the same thing when I started doing the cooking show. Nobody's going to watch that. But guess what? People watch it every week. Wow. Who would have thought that? Folks watch it every week. In between folks watching it, guess how many phone calls and text messages I get on, how do I cook this? What is this? How do you make this? Well, show me how to do this. Well, can you do a show? And it's like, wow. Because I didn't think people would pay attention. Just so y'all know, I slightly think I'm something like a ninja. In other words, I'm one of those people that think that even when I'm working, nobody notices anything. Trust and believe, whatever you're doing, whether it be good, bad, or otherwise, somebody is always watching. And somebody is watching you so they get the encouragement to do what they want to do. Now, I'm gonna leave y'all with this because I'm really hungry, y'all. I went to work this morning and took breakfast and no lunch. So I've not had a meal since about 10 this morning, and my stomach is rubbing my back. Not really, but yeah, close to it. But anyway, this is something my mama told me when I was a senior in high school. And it's two things I live by right now. One, my math teacher, Mr. Thomas, taught me in the eighth grade when I was struggling to do a math problem in his class one day. And he leaned over my shoulder. He said, Benton, don't let nothing beat you. I said, you know what? I won't. And I don't. My mama told me when I was a senior in high school, she said, be careful how you live. You may be the only Bible that some people read. Blew my mind because someone had wrote this beautiful, beautiful tribute. You know, we get senior books when you're when you get before you graduate. And a young lady that I did again, I told you I've been a ninja for a long time as far as I'm concerned. I didn't think people paid attention to me. I was not the rich kid in school. I was very poor. I did not wear the best clothes. I wore what my mom and daddy could afford. We did not have the best house. We lived where we lived. We drove, you know. So my thing was, only thing I have is I was a straight A student. I was smart as hell. Now that I had. I always was glad that I was smart. So to me, that's all I had. What I did notice, no, was this young lady, matter of fact, was a couple of them, had been watching me all those years. And I'd never noticed that they actually were mimicking how I wore my hair sometimes, some of the clothes that I wore. But remember, I said I wasn't a rich kid and I didn't have the best clothes. So, but I knew how to coordinate. John Witherspoon, the other one. I knew how to coordinate. But what she wrote in my book was how much she admired me and how much she had watched me. And I was boo-hooing because it shook me. I didn't realize anybody was paying attention. And that's when my mama told me that. And I'm 53 years old and I still live by those two things. I don't let nothing beat me. Now, if you see me getting a serious attitude, that means whatever it was that got to me, but I'm finna get to it now. And the second one is I try to live my life in such a way that if somebody is watching me, that they feel more inspired and they feel motivated to do something. I don't ever want to be a hindrance to anybody. I don't ever want to be somebody's stumbling block. So even when days are not so high for me, I'm going to still try to have that same attitude, that same face, and still have that same positive energy because I want whoever's watching me to do the same thing. So thank you all for listening to me tonight. I don't know if I'm rambling or not, but I hope that you got something from this. If you watch, replay, share, like. I didn't ask you all this at the beginning of this other post, but make sure that you go and like the Ladies Lounge Wonderlow. Also like Melrose Cafe. I finally got the page up, y'all. I know y'all was like, this I've been saying for the past 2 months. She was gonna put this page up. When I did it, I think I did it New Year's Eve or whenever. But either way, go over and find Melrose Cafe. That's my cooking show page. And then, of course, this one is the Ladies Lounge Wonderlow. I am working on improving the YouTube page, and now I have to get to it. Something about YouTube is not as comfortable to me as Facebook is, but I'll do that's on my intention list this year that I get that together. So make sure that you like, share, that you post. You know, if you have some show ideas or something that you love to see, make sure that you send me a message. And it's the Ladies Lounge 1050 at gmail.com, or you can just post it on the page and I'll still see it. Or you can just post it on my personal page, Wonder Benton Low. But thank you all so much. I appreciate your time this evening. I don't know who Zen is. Zen is watching on YouTube. Hey, Zen over on YouTube. Appreciate you. I promise I'm going to do some shows from YouTube in this year because last year, I'll be honest with y'all, I chickened out. That's all it is. I don't know why YouTube is intimidating to me, but I chicken out. So I promise this year I will do better. But thank you so much for tuning in. Cousin Hazel, girl, that's boy. Don't tell nobody, but you my favorite cousin. But don't tell the rest of them, because you my favorite cousin, because you support whenever. So don't tell the rest of them now that you the favorite. But anyway, thank you for always tuning in and supporting. Hope you enjoyed your pie. And I did talk to Uncle Buck. So now, so you know, I got to make Uncle Buck a pie when it comes to Arkansas. So anyway, thank you again. Y'all make sure y'all like, share the pages and post it. Make sure you come back Thursday night. This month we're going to be doing stews and soups. It's cold outside. We need stuff to stick to our bones. So make sure that you come back Thursday night at 7 o'clock for Mayrose Cafe. All righty, y'all. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Happy New Year. Be safe. Wash your hands, wear your mask, because man, it's rough out here again. So be safe and take care. Love y'all, and good night.